It's not for everyone. It's abrasion resistant, is second to none. Do yourself a favour. The CI4 material is so light. Oh, there was. I just need the... Oh, that's big trevally. All right, going to do some skip casting today. So I was going to do a little bit of fly fishing today, but the wind's picked up. So I'm going to change to a bit of skip casting instead. And I thought what I might do is just go through the setup that I've got. I've received some comments from a few other videos I've done, just covering briefly some of the gear that I use, and I wanted to just go into a little bit more depth before I get into it. The rod is Veritas 681 one piece, 4 to 8 kilos. It's a perfect setup for me. It's got a fast to medium action. Now it's listed as fast action, but I can tell you that it's I've got some Aki and a few other rods that are much faster than this, but the fast to medium gives me enough power, enough sensitivity, but it also gives me a little bit of flex, and then it helps with the catapulting action, and really helps me flick that lure in. With the setup, I cut the butt off, so you can see there's only about 10 or 15 centimeters from the center of the reel seat. Originally it's sort of out here somewhere. I do that so it doesn't interfere with my casting. If I had the extension, it'd be hitting my forearm. Gives me much more flexibility. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely for me. And all I do is basically just re-glue the end on there to neaten it off, cut it with a hacksaw blade or a knife and a hacksaw blade, and she's done. So when we move to the reel, this is a Shimano Stratic CI4, no longer on the market, but Vanford's, the Shimano Vanford is its replacement. Fantastic reels. The CI4 material is so light. It's a 3000 size reel, and I go for a 3000 only because it's the same size as a 2500, but it's got a slightly larger spool capacity. So if I want to use it for something else, I can load it up with a bit more line and just have a little bit more capacity. If you go to a 4, 5, 6,000 reel, I find they're just too heavy. When you're doing this all day and you know, you're putting in thousands of casts, you really want the lightest reel possible. There's a few other brands on the market that produce a similar sort of reel, but by far I've found that the quality-wise, this is the best. I also changed the little knob here over to a smaller round knob. Just makes it easier for me to I guess get my fingers back onto the handle and get cranking. The line is Schneider Super Braid. I've tried a few different types. It's 20 pound, and it's look, it's abrasion resistant, is, you know, I would say almost second to none. I'm sure there's brands out that I haven't used that are potentially as good, but from an abrasion resistance point of view, this Schneider Super Braid in the 20 pound is a really does a fantastic job. From there, I use an FG knot, really important FG knot. For years, I put off learning how to tie it simply because I didn't think I need it. Now that I've been using it for years, I realised that I was probably missing out and getting busted off by a few fish where I didn't need to. So jump online. There's heaps of videos about how to tie this knot. So I'm not going to go through it, but do yourself a favour. If you haven't learned to tie the FG knot, do it. Schneider fluorocarbon leader. This is 30 pound. If I knew there weren't any barra around or any sort of really big jacks, you could probably drop down to 20 fairly comfortably. I go with 30 only because it's pretty heavy country sometimes you're flicking into, and it gives me a little bit more I guess stopping power and abrasion resistance. The leader length, I start with a leader that's you know, that when I wind the lure to the top, it doesn't wind onto the reel. So you know, even if I cast right from the tip, you can see it's not going on the reel. It's important, if that knot's on the reel, what you'll find that as the line comes off, it's catching on the knot all the time. If you're learning and you're finding it a little bit difficult to get to cast, shorten this leader up to about 50, 60 centimeters. At about 50 to 60 centimeters, what's that, 2 feet, it casts much easier. There's just something to that little bit longer leader which sort of inhibits the skipping just a little bit. But once you get proficient at it, there's no drama with having a longer leader. And I'm a big fan of using a loop knot. It just allows the lure more freedom. Not a big fan of clips. I just think it adds bulkiness and adds something to the, you know, to the connection that you don't need. Some people say, oh, I can change lures all the time. Well, I'm pretty confident in the lures that I choose. I rarely change, only to re-rig or maybe a colour. And look, I can, you know, I mean, even changing 3, 4, 5 times in the day, you're only gonna lose 20 centimeters. Not going to go through the rig of the lure. I've been through that before. So look, that's it. If you got any more questions on that, something I might have missed, add it to the comments. Sorry, one last thing. I do really tighten this drag up when I'm skip casting. So there's some pretty heavy country that I get into. So this is, you know, tightened to the point where when I'm pulling line off, I'm really worried about that braid cutting through my fingers, and that's how tight I fish with it. If I hit a big fish, big barra, and it comes out into the open, then I'll loosen the drag a little bit when I get the fish out in the open, but I really need to stop them. The other alternative is, I know I fish with a few people who what they do is they loosen the drag off a bit, and when they get the hit, they just jam down on the spool. All right, so if you got any questions about the setup that I might have missed, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them when I can. I'm going to go and chase a few jacks. We're in the middle of a closed barra season at the moment, so mangrove jack, cod, and whatever else I can find are going to be my targets, but primarily mangrove jack. Hopefully I can find a big one. It's pretty shallow there, but the tide is starting to push in. Mangrove jack, I'm going to be starting to push up right on the fringe, try and hunt in those mangroves once they're flooded. It might be a tad early, but we can pick up an early fish. That'll be great. At least the archer fish are fired up. Oh, look at that in there. Hit it a bit hard, but there was a jack there. Oh, let's see if we can double back around and convince him a second time. That's the one. Oh, he did come back a second time, but he grabbed the feet. Could feel it. Oh, now he's buried me. I can't win. All right, lights out. Gotta go and get it. All right, under there. Perfect. If there was a fish there. maybe back under that tree a bit further. No. Thought there'd be fishing there for sure. Oh, there was. I just need to get... No, that's a barra. I sound so disappointed, but it's closed season at the moment, so I want to try and avoid these guys. They can't be targeted during closed season, and there's a closed season on the east coast of North Queensland between the 1st of November and the 1st of February. It opens again on the 1st of February the following year, so that these guys can breed. And this guy's not going to jump off. He's well and truly hooked, so just going to lift him up. Get him back in the water. Go on. All right. Now, see if we can find a mangrove jack. Oh, it was a jack. Plastic's not swimming so well. It's done a few miles. It's an older one. I might have to swap it over shortly. Oh, there we go. Oh, another barramundi. I sound so disappointed. Not that they're all that big, but I prefer to be catching mangrove jack. Come on, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. How well is he hooked? No, he's too well hooked. Gonna have to get him off again. Right. There you go. Well, the barramundi, you're liking him anyway, but that's not what I'm after. A few jacks that I have come across have been very cagey. Oh, that's a big trevally. Oh yeah, I don't get my plastic torn up or waste any time fighting them. If I had the fly on maybe, but chasing jacks, and jacks is what I'm after. Enough life in here. I'm going to find a jack sooner or later. Archer fish, pikey brim, even barramundi, which I'm not targeting. Oh. What have we got? I thought I heard something chopping up there. Little mangrove jack. Well, the right species, not quite the right size, but I'll take it. We'll get a tag in this guy, get the hook out and let him go. Just like a mangrove jack, only smaller. We'll let this guy go back to his snag. A bit of pink bling, see if we can get another one. I'll move further up the creek, hoping that the fish have moved in with the tide. I might be able to find some up here. Got a little bit quiet down in the... Oh, that was a jack. Actually grabbed it too. A bit more speed and see if he'll... Oh yeah, there we go. That's it, spot lock. He come back, but he still didn't hit it, so... He might not come back a third time. That's a problem. Oh well, at least I saw one. Oh. That was a little jack. See if we can pick him up a second time. Oh, very hesitant. Whoa. I'm not having much luck with connecting today. On days where, you know, things are tough, you're raising the odd fish, but they're not fully committing and you're not getting the hooks into them. It's a game of 1,000 casts. When the fishing's good, you make the most of it. When it's tough, you just got to grind it out. Be confident in what you're doing and grind it out. Oh! Ah, it's a barra. Come on, jump off. Jump off. Oh, that'll be right. There's a big mangrove jack. Look at that. Pull up right beside it, trying to rip it out of its mouth. Oh, that is so frustrating. Oh, it looks like I'll have to pull this guy in and get him off. Oh, beautiful golden colour. Back you go. I'm going to go to this point here and then that's going to be it. It's been a tough day. Ground it out, but some days it goes like that. Could be worse. I could be getting nothing. This is a system I haven't fished for a long time. We've had pretty stable weather for a few days and today it's really kicked up again, of course, for the weekend. So that's it. I'm going home.